Hey, thank you. Returning to the bit about the biblical stories, I appreciate your comment on how they're so sparsely written and almost porous. I mean, they really invite the reader in. And so, with your playfulness and your kind of midrashic interpretation, I wonder who you were reading to kind of, I guess, help draw out that type of a reading. Like you mentioned the interpreters that you read. So who would be good? And then maybe a word about how we can learn to enter them similarly. I mean, especially maybe in religious communities where they're often seen as maybe rigid or kind of untouchable, and that playfulness, at least it seems to me, isn't always the response we have.
Wait, I'm sorry, the second part is...
The second part is maybe... What enabled you to really enter into them that playfully? I mean, that may just be, you know, posture you had, but if you had anything for, I mean, for those of us that are in religious communities and maybe read alongside people who feel really tentative to touch the stories or to enter in that way, if you just had any word about how we might go about that.
Sure. I mean, I just feel like, well, I feel like the Bible is for everyone, and this was Jonathan Goldstein's way of figuring some of this stuff out, and for other people, it would be, you know, like going to church or synagogue or, you know, talking to their friends. And I think, like, it is something that has to be wrestled with. I don't know that the truth lies, like, in the actual, I think it's in the extraction, you know. I think it's like, it is how you engage with the text and what you make of it, and how it changes you, I think. But again, I mean, I'm no biblical scholar. Yeah.
Were you ever worried about crossing any lines in terms of the humor and or did you feel pretty free the whole time just to...
Well, I think I kind of like, almost like it's like a meditational thing where you don't, in order to actually not be paralyzed and to just write, you don't think about that stuff. But I think I was also pleasantly surprised when the story started to air. I got nice letters actually from like ministers and rabbis and stuff like that. I did and who wanted transcripts for their congregations. I did an interview a little while ago, I don't remember the name of the show, with an ex-nun on a public radio show, and she seemed to get a kick out of it, although maybe that's why she's an ex-nun.